Oh, you know what time it is? It's time to work on the Cheeto. So we did something today that we should have done a few months ago. We finally got the title transferred in our name. We did have to pay some back fees.
A whole whopping $41 for everything.
Yeah, so that was pretty cheap. I was surprised. I thought we were gonna pay a lot more than that. It's officially our vehicle now, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so the freaking chick put my name as Daniel's last name. So according to the DMV, me and Daniel are married now, so that's sick.
Did you get all the clips in?
Front end is officially back on.
Look at that.
Oh, nice and solid.
You used the glove?
Yeah.
With all the hardware in it?
And also got the whole bottom end plumbed. And we got all of our belts on. So the whole bottom end is wired, which is freaking...
And this worked.
Yee? It's tied down. We haven't started it yet, so I don't know if it's actually gonna bleed or not. But this belt wasn't long enough, so we had to ditch the idler pulley. So we'll see if that works. But
does that matter?
I don't know. Cause
Why wasn't it long enough?
Because some cars, I think this is because this is an OBD2. This is an M3 belt, not an M50 belt. So I wonder if some of the pulley sizes are just a little different.
Well, I mean, that feels fucking...
Yeah, it feels pretty good. So I'm not worried about it. So I want to put, we want to get the cooling system on today.
What's the idler do?
It just sits here and just, it's like another little pulley, I guess.
Add like tension or?
I don't know.
Does it do?
I think it just takes up.
It goes right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think it just takes out slack. So
that's probably what it does. But the belt fits. Everything's fine there, so I'm not like super worried about it. I think we're gonna not run a fan shroud because fuck it, and we'll figure out something for the reservoir as far as mounting that goes. We can make a shroud later too. We can always just get a shroud later.
Get one or make one.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. And then I kind of wanted to put the intake manifold on and figure out our throttle cable setup, how that's gonna work. Clutch stuff, so we could put the slave and line on, so that'll be sick. And on top of that, before the manifold goes on officially, we need to figure out our fuel line setup. So we have the rail, we just don't have the lines connected to the rail, so I think I might try and find some old fuel lines off the M42 and make something work with that. If not, we can just run down to Pep Boys and pick up some line. So yeah, I freaking went through and that's the Autotrans connector.
There you go.
So I spliced all that shit and then I tied off some other wires over here.
You got the ECU in or the DME?
Yeah, I got the DME in. I didn't plug the Autotrans harness into anything, so I don't know if that's gonna not work or... When we try to start it, it doesn't start, we can start going through shit and figure out what's up with it.
So what all do we need to get this thing started technically?
To get it started, we need to put the intake manifold on, get all that shit. That's pretty much it. Intake manifold, sensors, need to put oil in it, plugs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So as far as cooling system stuff goes, I think the plan is we're gonna block that off, block that plug off, and then we're just gonna run this straight to the reservoir, and then we'll plug the hoses in, and then run the overflow from the radiator to the expansion tank.
What's this for?
That's for the, this is for the evap purge, and this is for the mass airflow. And we're gonna deal with the evap stuff later, because he broke the freaking fitting.
What fitting?
For the, that fitting.
It.
Yeah, you did. I got it right on camera. You just freaking snapped the tank right off. Well, we'll deal with evap and PCV stuff after we get it running. I'm not worried about that shit initially. Actually, that just might work.
Yeah, I think that fits, bro.
It's a little high. Feels like it's on pretty solid.
This car's so Frankenstein already.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Got some fuzzies. There you go.
I don't know what this is from.
Almost. Catcher. Cathy. Come on.
Yeah. Alright, so I found a couple of self-tapping screws. I got a drill with a bit that's a little bit smaller than the bolt.
So let's do this side first.
That's how you want it.
So don't we want this radiator all the way up?
Yeah.
This is an 8 or 10.
It's an 8.
Look at that stout, bro.
Dude, that thing is solid. That thing is solid, bro.
You know, it's really funny to me. Like DeWalt's like top of the line when it comes to like construction work and stuff like that. But then like Milwaukee's like top of the line when it comes to like electric power tools for like race cars and shit.
Right, you throw that back on there. Alright, that is properly stable. That is legit stable, dude.
You want to close the hood and see if it works?
I'm just wondering if I have to break that little clip off. Yeah, so you want to take those mounts off, we'll get the lower hose going. What am I supposed to do with this? Ah, it feels nice though. Nice silicone hose, dude, that shit feels good. Yeah, so let's get this mounted.
I don't think this is big enough.
So, the hose clamp is like touching it, but I don't see the hose touching it. It is right here, but that's because it's not on the thermostat yet. So I think once it's on, we should be fine. As long as that hose isn't rubbing on the chassis, I think we should be okay.
Arthur!
A wild Arthur appears.
Oh my god, it's Jason Bourne!
What's up, my G?
What's going on?
I mean, we could cut that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's for an E30, bro, so I mean...
Even then, I don't know if it would.
Have to be a
We'd
precision cut.
we'd probably have to do this side.
Oh, that would probably work a lot better. Yeah, you want to cut it like right there and then run it?
I'll cut it here and then just keep shaving it off.
Okay. Is this thick boy enough that we can use it to block? Got all chopped up?
You sure it's the right diameter?
No. This is what, for an M20?
Yeah.
Look at that bulge, bro. Damn. That's gonna be fucking a stress point, I think. I don't know if we're gonna be able to use the stock airbox with that hose. We'll just buy a shitty pod filter from eBay.
I mean, it's just that much of a bend. You think it's, I mean, yeah, it could
For
be.
a big ass box, yeah.
Well, open your hood.
I don't have the stock airbox on, G. Alright, so because we're not running a fan shroud right now, we don't have a place to put this to mount it. So I was kind of thinking we could put it like somewhere over here. We would just have to relocate the horn. And then the lower hose is probably going to run under the frame and then
You have
up.
another one?
I got this one.
But that could work. So we're going to see about moving all this shit. Grab that.
Got it.
Pull it up. Hold on. Up there.
Oh, yeah, it's a little far.
Well, we could get a 90. So this hose is from the timing cover to the expansion tank on the 318, and then this is a heater core hose from the 318. So we're both using 318 hoses for this. We're going to rig something up and make it work. We just need a connector that'll connect those guys together, and then we can run this to our expansion tank, and we'll be stunting, baby.
I'll just watch what he's doing.
Alright, so that's on.
Dang, these things can get such a tight, like, focus.
Go in there and push on the throttle 100%.
Hey, this is motion tracking. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yo. Alright. Hold it at wide open. Alright, let off. Let off. Give it just like a quarter throttle. Okay.
Is that good?
Good enough. Yeah, dude. We got a throttle. Fuck yeah.
Much great success.
Oh! What is this? Where's the thing?
throttle cable works. I'm not surprised it's the same or very similar.
Yeah, it's not the same, but it's similar. But I'm not.
Why would it have been looser?
I
the
think
318?
the gap, this cord is a little bit shorter on the M50 cars than this.
Okay.
So
But why? Wouldn't this be tighter? Oh, you're talking about this being.
This in relation to this. So I think, because on these normally this would normally sit about here, but that would push the cord further this way.
On this wire, right?
Yes. So that's why it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because the M3 is a little farther. This is from the 318?
Yes.
And you're saying the 318 throttle wouldn't be this long?
I'm saying that the gap from the plate to where the actual cable pulls on is longer than on the M50 cars.
Oh, the M50s is shorter. That's
Yeah,
oh.
M50s. That's
Why are they shorter?
Because it's a completely different throttle cable.
What are you measuring? The cable?
How long a fuel line we need to have. It sits here. We have one line that goes from there up to here. For the
Where's
inlet.
the injector go in?
It goes in on the manifold. And then we have another line that runs from here out under the manifold.
So we have to put the fuel rail on after.
Alright, so I'm going to let the camera charge for a little bit. We're going to go to Pep Boys and Home Depot and get some hardware. So we're going to get fuel lines for the fuel rail. We're going to get a fitting for our cooling hoses to run the expansion tank. And I also wanted to get a little bolt the exact same size as that. We'll just put some Teflon on it and block that off because we're not going to be using that section. And we're going to get some hose clamps for the upper hose. So that'll be sick. So we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Did you put it on there?
Yes.
To get those hoses to sit together, which is ace. We picked up a handful of hose clamps for things. We got our fuel line that we need to run the rail. And as far as that fitting goes, I got a couple of bolts the same size, I think. Oh no, I got the wrong bolts. This is M12. I thought those were M12, but they're not. They're M10s.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so I fucked up on the bolts. Cool.
But that, I mean, that's not like it really matters right now, does it?
Well, they didn't even have, I thought they had M12s, but I guess they didn't. But even if these bolts are super long, so I have to cut them anyway. So I think we'll just try and go find
the right one.
The right ones and then make that work. But we can run our cooling system stuff now. We just got to throw some clamps on that and run that in. And we can actually put the upper hose on properly now that we have clamps for it.
That's on right? Like that?
Yeah, yeah. But you're good. We're going to need to clamp that. So that's that. I'll start working on those memes.
That's for the big one. No, that's for the big ones.
This is for the hose.
Don't tell him.
Alright. So how are we running it? We're running it like that.
That's such a long hose now.
We'll make it work.
Right?
So this is the throttle, so that's going to be out of the way. So I was thinking that you just fucking...
So it's going to end up going down here.
And around.
And around. So see how that angle is that way?
Yeah.
We need to angle this way.
Okay.
So
we'll get it positioned before we tighten that other one down.
See, I wanted to run it like parallel here and then like around here under there.
Okay.
Like through the power steering hose. So that right there is kind of what I was going for.
Alright.
Well, what I was talking about was...
we could probably go around like that.
So it runs more straight?
Yeah, that would probably be better.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Does there anything go right there?
Hopefully not.
I like how you gave him a screwdriver, bro. Yeah, first you call me fat. We should make it work with that.
I think we'll leave it loose and tie it off.
Was Zippy Boys?
So that we can bleed it. Because we want this to be the highest point in the system.
Yeah.
So we'll leave this like loose and then we'll get everything tied down. And then once it's all nice and bled, then we can lower it down and tie it off where it needs to be. Yeah.
Little fuzzies.
With a 8mm driver or an 8mm socket on it.
You keep this part though, right?
No, warranty the whole thing. Get a whole new one.
Just like You're right.
Put our little overflow hose on there.
Nice and shiny. And it has scratches, but it's because it gets used.
Yeah, exactly.
But it ain't fucking beat.
Yeah, that little ratchet's pretty beat.
Alright, we're going on, yeah. That's good.
Yeah?
Yeah. That thing's fucking tight, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude. And we'll just fucking... You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure that's not gonna pinch?
Like that.
Here you go, little curly Q.
Alright, so this is where this build starts to fall apart. So we'll probably cut and trim that a little bit later to make it nice and organized, but that'll work for now. So the line goes down under the frame rail and then comes up into the timing cover. We're gonna block that off, and that's pretty much it. So the whole cooling system's like super simplified.
Oh, you know
Go for a
why?
different
You know why
finish,
it's okay to be doing this, a lot of this Haggard stuff that we got going on right
Because
now?
this is the build for it, bro.
Huh?
I only build clean cars, and this is like my chance to do hack shit. And I'm
you're
like,
taking it
I'm
up.
taking advantage of it, dude, because I've wanted to do shit like this. But like these cars are way too nice to be doing shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, slave cylinder time, baby. Figure out that ECS red clutch line. Figure out the size for that, because that's going on right now. Ooh. All right.
I think it's just a wrench, bro.
Alright.
At that point.
Yo! We have a clutch line.
Fuck
We have a... Fuck yeah, that's just connected. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't put anti-seize on that stuff, do you? Or Loctite, I mean?
So all we need to do is put it in our clutch panel and bleed it. And then we'll be officially manual swapped.
I'm not.
Alright, quick shout out to those horn relocation skills.
Yeah.
Bro, check out that horn relocation.
Ooh.
You gotta climb under there.
I can see it right here, dude.
You're fun,
How did you get it? How would you bolt it to?
I bolted it to the radiator core support shock. Alright, so for that rear heater core fitting, this is our solution. It's a little piece of the hose from the E30. We put a Vanos plug in it, so that goes on the front of the Vanos unit. We tied it off with a hose clamp. Is that gonna be big enough? Right the back here. Ooh, what was that? Oh well. Well, tighten that boy down. Alright, so at this point, all we need to plug is that hole right there, and then our cooling system will be complete. The ghetto piece of shit that it is, we made this work for like $7. We had the whole cooling system for like $7. Pull the radiator, hoses, everything out of my ass, and it works. So,
Hey, I contributed
dude,
to some of the hoses.
this is the cheapest cooling system I've ever seen in my life. And it's amazing. It is amazing.
And it's not even that bad a
It's-
quality.
no, it's not.
Like,
we got
that's
brand new.
actually-
We got brand new silicone hoses. That's a 318 fan right there off an M42. So
That's for an E30 cut.
that's so the water pump and the thermostat housing are off of the old bucket motor. So this is all just slung together with shit I had laying around. And for a cheap ass build, it's actually not bad.
This is like one of the cheapest.
This is probably one of the cheapest builds that I've ever done with a manual swap and a rebuilt engine. So.
It's probably one of the cheapest builds in general.
So as far as getting this motor running, not the car driving, but just the motor running, we literally just have to put the intake manifold back on.
And then after that, we just need a dip.
So we got to plug that. Oh, we need a pedal assembly too.
Pedal assembly.
Yeah. I have the fuel hoses. We need to run those. Put the intake manifold on. Put the fuel rail on. Put the throttle body on. I need to block off that vacuum hose and the vacuum fitting. There's another vacuum fitting on the manifold I need to block off. We need to run our idle control circuit, which I have. Put the throttle body on. Put the boot and the mass airflow on. Put spark plugs in, coil packs, and assuming all the sensors and the spark plugs and the coil packs and the harness and the DME and the wiring is all good, then it should start right up. We completed assuming this cooling system actually works. So
It's going to.
it's going to. We might have a lot of trouble getting this thing running just from wiring shit.
I'm just
Optimistically, we're almost there.
hyped on this.
Dude,
What
this
goes
turned
here?
out fucking
And what goes
mint.
here?
That's where the auto control valve goes. It just goes in there and then hangs out.
Dude, we could use this bracket right here to hold that up.
You just zip tie
Zip
it.
tie it here and then zip tie another one there. So you use the zip tie to hold it, and then you use the zip tie as kind of a buffer up against that metal.
We could. And then do evap and can stuff after it drives just to refine the setup more. And then we rip it, dude. Alright, so I'm gonna call it for today. We do need to get some pintle caps, gaskets for the manifold, and all that other stuff. So as far as doing things right now, we're pretty much finished. But we are so close to getting this thing fired up for the first time. It's gonna be sick. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep it fresh, and I'll see you guys later.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take